But so many of us have been afraid and we have stayed in high control religious systems that were harmful because we were afraid to lose community. And I think my biggest question for the people up here, it's a free for all, really. Um, have you experienced any loss of community, and how did you deal with that when you took your step to break free of the high control religious system?
Um, we lost my parents to some degree. Church always came first, so their holidays, Christmas, Easter was theirs. We had to reinvent them for ourselves. We lost my son's godmother, who rejected our turning away from the church. And I said, well, you can still be there for him. She goes, no, I can't. I'm like, oh, okay. So once you take God out of the equation, people just turn their backs on you. We were very ingrained in our church growing up. Ed's house was 3 blocks south of the church, and my house was 3 blocks north of the church. And so meeting there was literally the center of our world for decades. And then when we both looked at each other and said, I don't believe anymore. I don't either. What? Where did this come from? Like, it was a weird symbiotic moment. And we said, well, now what? Because if we tell our friends, and it's in the book too, where one woman that we were friends with, our boys were the same age, they were supposed to make their first communion. She was like, oh, Lori, when's Danny gonna go to church? And I'm like, Alice, we're atheists. And she bumped her glass down on the table and said, oh, I don't believe that about you. And I was like, what? Because to me, like, when you say God, and the title of the book kind of scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I don't know that I believe in a supernatural. I don't believe in a supernatural God, but I don't exclude anybody else in my world who does.
Yeah.
We all have our own framing that we put our worlds into, and I respect anybody else's, and I hope they respect mine.
Absolutely.
But when I say I don't believe in God, it doesn't mean I don't think that a God doesn't exist, because I see God in every human being.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. And so you don't have to go to church, you don't have to pray, you don't have to read certain scriptures. You just have to be present, and you have to bear witness. And I think that's the most precious part about what it is. You insert yourself into somebody else's world. You say, I'm not going anywhere. I want to watch you, and I want to learn from you, and I want to grow with you. And so I think that's the remedy to that, which also establishes trust.